last word.
Indeed, it is the last word. Welcome to the last word this Tuesday. Lovely to have you here. My name is Eric Latif. Tonight I'm with Zaha Indibuli. And today we want to have a conversation. Okay, of course, there's a by-election coming up on Thursday in Olkalau, and we know by-elections, and we've seen what's been happening in the run-up to these by-elections. We've seen what's been happening in the political space. Now, there's a whole debate about electoral malpractice. And one of the biggest electoral malpractice accusations that we've seen around this forthcoming by-election is voter bribery, where it is actually alleged that people are given money. Which are those ones of projects and all. People actually being given cash handouts as an inducement to vote in one way or the other in an election. That, when it's direct inducement, now there's an issue here about bribery. Is it right? Is it wrong? Of course, it's wrong. The question that we are asking tonight, is the political class solely responsible for voter bribery? That is the political class, those who are campaigning, those who are candidates and their supporters in the political organization, are they solely responsible for voter bribery? Zaha?
I think this is a very good conversation and a very good time, especially before the by-elections. I mean, we saw what had happened in Bere. The other time we had this similar discussion as well. And it's like, we are a country full of so much power and greatness. We're a country that deserves to go to the next direction of democracy. It's 2026. Kenya is still talking about voter bribery. So 2024, we hope so the entire country come together to say an end to some of these things, an end to corruption. Do we mean that the same Kenyans are now the same ones accepting bribes from these politicians? Is this a fallacy, maybe, to separate Kenyans from thinking beyond voter bribery? But also importantly, as Kenyans, are we honest to ourselves to say we want a change for this country and stand by it? Importantly, for politicians, why is it always so difficult for you to speak about the solutions and the changes you want to offer Kenyans before you give them money? How is it so difficult?
Which comes one before the other? Is it the politician speaking and the voters, the audience, expecting kakitu? Or is it, the politician speaking and the voters don't expect anything, and then the politician is like, I mean, sisi ni wa Afrika. Hauwezi kuja tu na utoke mkono mtupu.
I completely understand. I think, so first of all, it would be good for me to ground myself by saying I am a child of the post-election violence, right? It's now 2026. So my understanding of politics for me knows very much that a majority of my relatives and people that I lost them because somebody accepted this very, very money and killed people we have lived with for 20 years plus. I think we need to separate, and these truths can be true, we need to separate the fact that politicians have made it a habit to literally enter these rallies and spaces first with a handout before delivering the message. And also consecutively, we have made Kenyans participate in democracy that is very transactional. So when you do call for spaces of political discourse or places where Kenyans can speak about their democracy, the first thing some Kenyans would expect is, first of all, wapi lunch. So having noticed that these two things are very, very relevant, there's equally a population of Kenyans that do not take this type of things. And they're standing for their democracy. And I think we have made it a culture to an extent that Kenyans have made it a presumed assumption for themselves. Yeah.
That this is something to go.
Yes.
We have a room full of political aspirants, politicians, the political class is here. Okay. We have some who are already serving, like Paul Chirichir, who's MCA in Kapsoit. We have aspirants who are in the room. We have a NEC member from Jubilee, Wanja, and Wanja Maina. We have advocate and political commentator Titus Mahanu, and others. Now, there is the board, right? You have
your voter's card.
Your voter's card. Red means no, green means yes. And the question, is the political class solely responsible for voter bribery? Do we blame it only on the political class?
Wow.
Or not?
Majority red.
Inua, let us see. Wanja, what are you saying? Are you saying yes or no? Wanja, are you? Are you 50-50? So, a vast majority in the room saying the political class is not solely responsible. So who else is? Okay, but let's start with those ones who are saying it's only the political class that's responsible. There are three greens. Get the mic. Please pass the mic to them. Pick the mic. Tell us your name and why do you think we should only blame it on Akina Chirchir?
Thank you. To begin with, I'm Onsongo Momanyi, of course, a political aspirant from Womachoge Chache constituency. Well, looking at the culture that we've bred as Kenyans, we must be cognizant to the fact that consumerism is a culture that is born from the incentives given by the government or by the political class, and it is intensified by the people. Now, I'm saying this because we have to be clear that it is the responsibility of the political class to guide us in the political moves, because that's why it is a class. But apart from that, we must also recognize the fact that the citizens, the electorate, have some, intensity added onto it. They fuel the movement for the financing, the bribery and everything, because they're the people receiving it. So what I can say is that the problem here is that we have a class that is ready to give, a class that offers, a class that knows that the only way to the top is by, spreading the staircase of cash. Having some notes and some coins. The only way to sling yourself to the top is by making sure that the people down there have some incentive for them to keep holding the culture. And that is why I think the political class have the huge responsibility when it comes to the case of voter bribery.
Okay.
The case of tokenism. Thank you.
You are on the ground, you're campaigning. Have you been asked to leave Kitu Kidogo after a meeting?
Yes.
Have you given?
No.
Why?
Sina.
Ungekuwa nayo?
Ukiingia utawapea.
Now, on that, I think the only reason that we have for us to keep on giving Kitu Kidogo to people, on Kitu Kidogo solely meaning, the tokens, is because as the political class, we are not delivering what we're supposed to be doing. So for me, I think we are at a level where we are supposed to be thinking of Kitu Kidogo should be translated, transcribed into development. Let us be the Kitu Kidogo.
All right. Thanks, Osongo. Who else was that? Had the green? Okay. Your name, please.
Thank you, Latif. I'm Harun Obete, and to me, I come from, I'm a voter in a constituency in Kakamega. That's Matungu constituency. And yes, I'll say that political class is solely responsible for voters' bribery. Why? I won't name the politician, but they are really preparing. In fact, from my intel sources, they have already put aside millions for the campaigns. I won't mention the name as I said, but they have already put aside millions for campaigning. Now, you can't allow democracy to prevail where politicians are already looting millions for the campaign. And those millions, we know what the IBC has capped for an MP, for the president, for an MCA. But you'll find out that those are just figures on IBC. But in reality, the money that is going to be spent in the election is more than what IBC has capped.
Spent on who?
Sorry?
Spent on who?
Obvious on bribing the voters.
Voters like him.
Yes.
And Aaron,
yes.
if they come with money, will you take?
Can you refuse money? You can't. Yes. Obviously, I'll take.
And if this particular person,
yes,
and you know from your own intelligence sources,
yes,
have a lot of money for these campaigns,
yes,
if they come to a meeting and they leave, will you feel disappointed?
Obviously, you know that if this is the culture that the politicians.
No, you now as Harold, as a voter.
As a voter.
Yeah. Unajua jamaa kuna pesa, umesikia? It comes from meeting.
Wametuzoesha, tutafili vibaya
Okay.
because wametuzoesha.
So Shaz,
but the responsibility lies solely on him.
On him because wametuzoesha.
Thank you, Aaron. Others.
Thank you very much. My name is Mtumishi Jari Momogi. I'm the incoming member of parliament of Ugenya constituency. So, two things. Reason as to why I did take that position is that the politicians would not like new entrants of thinking to get into these offices. Hence, the bribery, if you look at the bribery, for example, in 2007, and the bribery in 2027, is actually now much higher compared to what was being given in 2007, and is increasing year by year. A reason being that then they won't allow anyone that want to come thinking differently. You won't even be able to convince the voters because the bribery is quite high. Number two, the same politicians that we're talking about, and specifically, for example, let me talk in the National Assembly, for example. They're the people who come up with the laws. Remember, there's an Election Act. And to some extent, the Election Act, the way it was, and the reading and looking at, how Election Act is, it's very hard for you to nail, actually, that actually someone bribed. And what they did is that they come up with that law to make it very hard to nail any of them going forward. And that itself is making sure, and that's why I'm saying, that they're actually solely responsible for that. I did vie in 2007, in 2017, and I did not give even a coin. But
what did the people give you?
That's what I want to tell you. but I can tell you, the amount of abuses that I had can fill this room simply because I could not give.
From who?
From the people.
What are they saying?
2017.
What are they saying?
They were saying politicians, you talk to them, after talking they tell you sasa bwana watu wachaje bwana.
Gonya.
Ndio hiyo sasa. Watu wachaje sasa. So, and if you don't give, they actually become violent. Okay? And reason being, the politicians have made it a way that you, when you come in and you are unable to raise that money, then you can't push out.
So wametuzoesha.
The politicians are solely responsible for it.
Okay.
And that's my position.
I get that. Asante Mtumishi. Let's cross over to this side and pick from three ladies. All right, so we have the three ladies on this side. Okay, they have the mic. Please let's start with you. You have the mic.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Wakili Linda Chemingin, an aspiring women rep Kericho County. First of all, I would like to speak about what is provided for in the question for today. When we say solely, we mean only. Therefore, I will never say the political class is the only one that is responsible for voter bribery. I will agree and say that there is a channel that goes through all this process. There is someone who gives, there is someone who takes, and there is an institution that fails to provide for who gives and who picks it up. So therefore, I would like to say that voter bribery, first of all, we would like to see why do people accept it. You see, for my case, as we speak, I'm vying for Women Rep Kericho County. I'm a finalist of law at the Strathmore University. Definitely, I don't have sources of money. So I go there and I campaign. What do I have to tell you? That the only thing that the youth and the people in the country should learn is to listen to the visions that people are carrying, the manifesto that someone has. As this is clearly provided for by the Constitution. Article 38 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 speaks about the political rights. When we speak about the political rights, this means that everyone, when we say everyone, it means even the president himself. Everyone has the right to choose a political party. Everyone has a right to choose who leader they want to vote for. Article 10 of the Constitution of Kenya provide for the national values. When we talk about the national values, we speak about integrity, we speak about transparency, accountability. Therefore, when we only say that the people who are giving voter bribery are the political class, then we are lying to ourselves. Because you see, those people, the chain of the event is what should matter at this point. See Article 81 of the Constitution of Kenya. It speaks about the body, the IBC, that has been set aside to ensure that elections are held in a fair manner. And they should ensure that there are no voter briberies taking place. Also, Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya talks about integrity. Why are these then being provided for by the Constitution if we, the leaders, are not the ones who are supposed to put the things into place? So therefore, what I would like to tell the leaders who are vying like me, I want to tell you the truth. I want to be that young leader who will change the situation of this country. People may look at it as a joke, but let me tell you the truth. When you have a vision that you carry for the people, and when you can be able to explain to the people in the best way they can understand, then that's who you are. You see? So right now, I won't say that the political class are solely responsible. So for me, I feel like what we should be discussing at this point is who gives and who picks it and which institution is responsible for this.
Wakili Linda, asante sana.
Yes.
So who bears the greater responsibility?
I would not say the political class. I would say politicians, political class, and the chain I give.
Okay.
The people who give, the one who receives, and the institution.
The giver, the taker,
and the institution.
The overseer.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wanja.
Thank you, Eric, and good evening, everyone. I think I'll just start by...
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Wanja. I am happy to be in the Last Word show. I am a member of Jubilee Party and also an NEC member and also an active citizen. I think I want to start by a point of reflection. When I remember a professor of mine many years ago in university, his name was Professor Indiatsi. He used to tell us, prices are determined by forces of demand and supply. So because I didn't enjoy economics much, I at least I used to know that I'll get 2 marks there before we continue. Now, this bribery seems like it's also determined by demand and supply, and that's why we are hearing in places like Olkalao, hakuna change ya thou. I'm told there you were operating with thousands.
The list
and the last time I was in Olkalao, I think 2 weeks ago, people were saying hata watu wanakuja vibarua because it's an agricultural town and municipality, watu sahi watakuchoka because money is in high supply. Now, one would ask, are the politicians solely responsible? But for me, I would say for every demand, there is a supply, and for every supply, there is a demand. There's something I was observing. There's this school in Embu that is very popular these days. It's called the Tendri School. They were having their school elections, and the kids were very interesting. But there was one child who was really impressionable, and he was telling his friends, asante kwa kunisikiza sasa, panga mustari. And after saying panga mustari, he had a lot of snacks to give to his friends. And he was a very interesting boy. Now I ask myself, even though they were acting and they are children, acting is a reflection of society. Indeed, even for those who will be truthful, who have lied, they'll say, it's never called a bribe. In fact, if you call it a bribe, you make it sound a bit bad. It's called fair. It's called chai. It's called lunch. It's called facilitation. Uko chini na utatupanga. So one would ask, people will say, unajua mimi nimetoka na huko kwa shamba, nimekuja kwa town, nimepanda boda. So who takes care of that cost? Yet I'm the one who called you. So there's some sort of normalization. It is generally expected. In some places you'll say, come, let's have a stock, there will be tea and snacks. They say, we don't want tea and snacks, we want money. So who decides if that's really what they want? For me, I would say, are the politicians solely responsible? No. But do they have the highest level of responsibility in terms of that food chain? Yes. But it's something that is determined by both the demand and the supply. It's normalized. It happens during the day and at night. For those who have campaigned, will tell you that in their budget, one of the budget lines is usually called reimbursement.
So as Jubilee has a candidate in the by-election at NEC level, do people talk about how to, raise money and allocate funds for facilitation
You'll be very surprised.
Mobilization.
You'll be very surprised, Eric. The way this Olkalau race has been set, one would think there is only one aspirant. And that aspirant is the one that is being supported by government. That there are even ministers who have quote unquote absconded their offices.
My question is Jubilee with a candidate on the ground.
Yeah.
Have you facilitated?
No. One of the things about our party is just the candidate himself, by the way, and now that you've asked, his name is Wilson Kegwa. He's a candidate who has been vying for this should be the 4th time. A local candidate, this is a candidate who has worked in the electricity sector. So he's a very local person who has done a lot of community projects, more or less working with the NGO and with the communities. So for him, he's not a new candidate who is has to be escorted by people from Nairobi and goons. He's just a local guy. So he doesn't need a lot of guzzlers or goons because he lives with the people. And maybe that's why there is no much drama and ministers supporting his ticket. So the long and short is that, no, we are not paying any people because he's already loved because he lives with the people.
Clever answer.
Thank you.
Pass the mic. Please tell us your name.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Purity Ngongo, MCA aspirant, Nairobi South. My response to this is everyone is responsible for this. We cannot blame the politicians alone because by the time you are given some cash and you're receiving it, it means you're also interested. So again, we are Africans. As Africans, you don't visit someone empty-handed. If I were to come to your place, you expect me to come with at least a milk and some bread.
In the house, right?
Yes, in your house. I also expect you to prepare something for me. I don't expect you to just sit there. You know I'm coming, and you are giving me nothing. Yeah, and you are discussing, and then I visited you. I expect something. Even if it's just a cup of tea, I expect that. You too expect me to come with at least a bread. So, what I'm saying is this thing is for everyone. Politicians go with some cash because you have mobilized some people to come and wait for you. They have stopped everything else they were doing, but they chose that day to be with you, to listen to you. So they expect you to give them something. You give them some cash, you give them some goodies. So if you go and you're not giving them anything, they're likely going to have issues with you. And next time when you invite them for a meeting, they will not come. And you see, what you're interested in as a politician is to have them listen to you, vote for you, and win the elections. Okay? So we have to develop a culture as a society whereby, which is not even easy for us, because this is how we are raised. This is how we grew up.
So
what we can do, the basic thing. Yeah,
this is African socialism.
Us. Yes, this is us. And so the best we can do is to develop some kind of tolerance. If you are, maybe you have this stand, like I'm for maybe UDA or for the other party, I should be okay with you.
No.
I should let you be. You make your choice. It's your constitutional right. You can at least say, this is what I want, and nobody will attack you. Nobody will do anything to you, because this is our country again. We can't finish this country. We can't fight. We should not kill each other. We should not have issues. Let everyone be free to speak their mind, to make their choices, to associate with any party or any even what they feel like. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Ideally, when you're telling Kenyans, as I hear,
yes,
to be tolerant of bribery, right?
Yes.
So since it's bribery, it means there's something I'm conditioning you to do lesser of, like to sort of leave your thinking and sort of support mine, right?
Not bribery.
So what are we talking about?
It's not bribery.
What is it?
It's our culture, like just a
sawa,
token.
sawa. In this culture,
Token.
let me ask you, how do you measure or tokenize how much someone is worth?
No, that one you can't.
So what
You cannot.
What's usually the
because
measure?
you see, you should come the way you are, but at least don't come empty-handed.
So what is
you
that?
see, there is someone who
Not a
can
good hand to bring.
at least come with something. You receive it as it comes, because you know why I'm saying this. It's because maybe I have the capacity to come to your place with a bread alone. Someone else can visit you carrying a whole baggage of shopping. Someone else can decide to as in unakuja
Let me ask you,
uko.
Purity. You are going to be visiting people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Another candidate is going to be visiting people.
Yes.
Do you want that host to judge you by how you visited?
No. They should not. They should not.
But they should
They
accept.
should accept it.
They should accept all
just
your
as a
work.
token. If I don't have, they should also be able to accommodate me as I am.
Okay.
Yes, but not. They should not vote for someone based on what they brought. No, that's a mistake. You vote for people because they told you this is my agenda.
Wakule kwa so and so, wakule kwa Purity.
Okay, you let Kenyans vote based on agendas. What do you have for Kenyans? What will you do for Kenyans? But at least also receive something from me.
Okay.
And
Thank you,
be
Purity.
just good. Yes. Thank you.
This one is just a big debate. Well, everybody should have an opportunity to speak tonight, right? But, you know, we keep talking about this. We put in new words. We call it facilitation, we call it token, we call it a visit, we call it reimbursement, we call it so and so. And the price for that has been rising.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
Studies conducted just keep showing that this money is rising. For you to win an MCA seat, you will have to spend more than 10 million shillings. For a ward, an MP seat, you're spending 30 million shillings. For a constituency. On that thing that we are calling. So everything else, you know, plus your merchandise and all, but you have to include this. But we want to call it, you know, it's our culture.
Yeah.
It's
I think it's very shocking, and it's why I asked her, how do they then quantify us as citizens? Like, do different areas have a price? Do different levels of
Homesteads.
education or homesteads have a price? And I think it's critical politicians. No, it's not the time and age. And I completely understand that it is apparently our culture, or maybe it is so normalized. But I refuse, Latif, to accept that this is still a country that does that. What I saw in 2024 was not a generation of young people who just take up handouts. I think these elections, politicians need to come up with and not just manifestos, bring solutions. That's how you get my vote.
I like that you're saying politicians need to do that. I stand on it is the citizens. And I always keep going back into our constitution starts with we the people.
Yes.
And then we have, you know, we acknowledge God and everything. Article 1, Chapter 1, Article 1, and Wakili Mahanu and Wakili Lina will tell us, it starts with this all sovereign power belongs to the people. We don't know that. It's like we wrote our constitution and we don't know
We're
that.
shocked.
We don't. So that's why we just pass on everything else to this other person. But we still do not want to take responsibility for the fact that we demand bribes. We have gotten to a level in our elections where campaign season is harvest season.
Yeah.
You know, when you know ati msimu wa maembe ukambani.
Bumpy harvest.
It's harvest season. It's campaign season, it's harvest season. Kina mama groups wameanza kujiorganize. Tutakuwa tukijiorganize hivi, youth groups wamejiorganize hivi, watu wa church wamejiorganize hivi, watu wa market wamejiorganize hivi. They are already organized and very well structured. That they know, ukikuja, there's a certain minimum. In fact, there are parts in this country where some aspirants have told me that if you go and you leave anything less than 5,000 shillings,
Never.
what is that? Ni nini?
Yani, we have been conditioned to be 5,000 shillings.
We have conditioned ourselves to have, you know, minimums and such. We have conditioned ourselves.
But Latif, do you remember a time when Kenya did not have this? Was there a time where Kenyans
I hear there was a time. Okay? I wasn't.
No.
Not in the 90s. In the 90s, there was I hear there was a time.
The time is still there even now.
Take a mic, please.
Asante sana.
Start by telling us your name.
Allow me to introduce myself, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jared Ondo, Dr. Jared Ondo, the incoming MP for Embakasi South constituency, and of course the Executive Director for Jubilant Stewards of Africa, the CEO of the United SME Association of Kenya. Definitely also an election observer and a head of Observer Mission Group. So, anyway, what we're saying is that what happens, okay, you ask if there's a time and the time if it's still there. She's coming from Kericho and her counterpart from Bomet Toto won without even a single coin. And I want to say another person that have a namesake called Jared who is vying in Ugenya. By the way, for information, I'm also from the US, Ugenya CIA, specifically EU, East Ugenya. So in East Ugenya, our former MP, who's the current governor, Rengo, when he started campaigning, the first time he got in parliament, he didn't have anything. And even the current MP was also going for governor. David Ochin didn't even have a car when he started campaigning for MP. He's a relative and understand, and many other places. Not only there, we also have someone here from Mumias. So the MP for Mumias East, you understand, I don't want to mention his name. He has not paid for advertisement rates. And others who have been able to be elected without giving anything. Like Orengo, even when he had money last election, the other time, you remember saying, you know what I'm doing for Baba. You understand? So kazi yangu huko juu, he didn't even print even a single poster for his campaign. And it also depends what you are offering for people. How different are you? You know, how different are you from the other commodities in the market or the other politicians? I know msitu ni ule ama wanasema nini? So how different are you? That is the question. Okay. So the question is, how is Dr. Jared Oundo different from the current MP Embakasi South constituency? Atapeana basari usiku kama mwingine ama atapeana mcha? Kwa unajua usiku kuna kazi yake. Si ni kweli? Ni wakazi wa kupeana.
Watu wa Embakasi watachukua bribe kutoka kwa mtu mwingine?
Mambo ya bribe have been on the ground. Actually, pali natoka, you know, we at least have two major slums, Mukuru kwa Ruben and Mukuru kwa Njenga. Hapo ndio wanaitisha bribe sana. Na of course pia utaitisha huko pipeline ukienda.
Kwa nini?
Kwa sababu they feel mheshimiwa, kuitwa jina mheshimiwa lazima ulipie. Unaelewa? Lazima ulipie ushuru ndio uitwe mheshimiwa. So one of the things is that, okay, some of them are very genuine cases. You'll find people wenye maybe wamepoteza kazi, muuliza kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Sijui lidhani mimi nitoka huko leo Nyanza, anyway, Kiswahili na kifahamu. So watahitaji wako na shida kadhaa, wengine hawana kazi, wengine huenda tu wamekuuliza. Kama pia wale vijana ambao wametembea na wewe, ni vizuri ametumia nauli yake. Ni vizuri pia kama wewe ambaye mheshimiwa ukitembea na watu unasema ndugu, tumia hii kama bus fare, kunywa chai wakati mwingine mtaka. Alafu pia wengine saa zingine
si bribe.
Si bribe. Saa zingine hata wapiga kura wenyewe huwa wanapea sisi waheshimiwa. Nikienda pale mara daima wataniambia, ama pale kwa Rema pipeline wataniambia, mheshimiwa, leo mimi ndio nitakubaya lunch, mimi ndio nitakubaya, kwa sababu wanaelewa ni uhusiano ambao tunajenga na wanapanga watavuna, unaelewa? Kumbe unajua.
Sawa Jared.
Asante sana. Thank you.
Sawa Jared. Let's cross over to this side. Please take the mic.
Thank you. My name is Ndagwa Mwiruri. I'm a student leader, founder and executive director, and a member of the KANU party. So for me, I would like to sum up what we're all saying, especially what Wakili Linda and Wanja said, into one thing. Everything boils down to the moral psychology of the citizens. Our moral psychology is what dictates whether we'll pick a bribe or not, whether we're going to pick somebody because wako na V8 ama wamekuja na Pro Box, and it's going to dictate how we are going to move as a nation. And the reason I say that is because, going back to the question about us being, is the political class solely responsible for the voter bribery? No. It is, I don't call it a 50-50, but it is a part as we are citizens and them as politicians. Because hata kama wakuja waseme wataleta, we as citizens should not diminish ourselves to saying 100 bob, 1,000 or 5k is worth our vote. Because when we allow voter bribery to happen, this is when we bring, what's it called, the election-related crimes. Because look, like right now, if we check all Kalau, we're not going to mention CSs and PSs, but we know for a fact we've seen MPs, we've seen PSs, we've seen CSs, we've seen all sorts of people who are state affiliated being on the ground. In fact, a joke was being made that hata ni kama choppers tapigana huko juu because of the traffic. We have seen videos of an MP anasimama juu anasema nimepewa leo 1.2 million nikuje nigawanye hii ward. So the thing is this, I will give props to all Kalau guys because hata kama wanachukua, they are not changing their vote on whoever they deciding to pick. But at the same time,
Thursday.
True, very true. But at the same time, it should not be a thing of nachukua lakini nasimama wima. It should be a matter of we're not picking at all.
Okay.
We shouldn't allow our politicians kutuona kuchibeba wana.
But also it depends on the
Tulieni. Kama hauna mic, hata ukiongea unajiongelesha.
Uzuri mimi niko na mic.
Endelea tu, it's on.
All right, so I think a lot has been said, but I think it's a
Your
really...
name, please.
My name is Iteo Hayasia. I'm very passionate on this because I'm a civic educator. So I think it's a very vicious cycle. So when someone says that it's just our culture, it's just bread and milk, the stakes are much higher. Hii sijakuja kukuona kwa nyumba yako. This is state machinery that is being used. So when we are saying that this person is coming na lazima akue na kitu kidogo, ametoa wapi hiyo kitu kidogo? I have a big problem with the caps that are on election campaigning. Because what do you mean? Guys, let's bring out our calculators. I want you to do the math with me, yeah? We say that the cap for presidential campaign will be 4.435 billion. But when the president gets into seat, we'll give him 1.2 million a month. That's 14.4 million a year. Give that 5 years, that's 72 million. Ametoa wapi 4 billion? But anafaa kuja na kitu kidogo, si ndio? So when you go to, and it's a vicious cycle because when you live here, and it will be every day. You go to a huduma center place, you will find that perhaps there is no staff to kuhudumia hapo, lakini si unataka ID hiyo siku. So you give something hapo ati ndio mtu mwenye amepatiwa kazi yako on a contract analipwa, tena unamuongezea kitu ndio afanye kazi yenye amelipwa kufanya. Ukikuwa hapa kwa barabara, Latif, if you're on the way to your daughter's graduation and it's starting right now and you're running late, but the police wants something kidogo ndio akuachilie sababu hujaweka insurance vizuri, si utatoa kitu. But it's not, the culture rises because now we are so permissible, so we will be expecting that ukienda Harambee ama umeenda Matanga huko reserve, that the MP when he's coming to talk to you and he's talking to you about how lakini unajua nimetumwa na kitu niwaambie pole. Hiyo kitu imetoka wapi? So when we are saying that they should be coming with, something small on them, we are not realizing that is state machinery that they are using, that hiyo ni pesa yako, your taxes, the money that is being in loopholes. Your SHA is not working so that at the campaign ya next year ukuje upatiwe kakitu. So I have a big problem when someone says it's just our culture and it's African socialism. The stakes are much higher than that.
Now politicians actually, those who are not in government will come and say hiyo ni pesa yako, chukua. All right? So now answer, because they'll come and say what is being dished ni yenu. All right? Kuleni hiyo pesa lakini mjue mahali mnaweka kura. Is that justifiable?
Well, I think there's still a very big problem with things like those because it makes jest of the bigger problem in the picture, because it's in the same breath that we will say that is my money, so ukinipata mimi wakili kwa campaign na dance usiniite wakili. But it's also in the same breath we will be saying corruption is only bad if you're not involved. So it's a problem when it's someone else. And that's the biggest problem I will not mention names, but it's the biggest problem I have with people who will leave government and then point fingers. Because when you were there, it was not a problem. All of a sudden, suddenly become so clever. I think I'll rest on that and give someone else a chance.
Thank you. You have the mic? Okay. The lady has the mic. Please pass this mic front here. We need to sort it out. Endele.
Good evening, taxpayers. My good name is Joanne Kanini Wainaina. I'm vying for MP Githunguri. So, on this topic of voter bribery, I think I'll take a little. I live where we are right now, and I take a different strategy of saying the reason why we have voter bribery is because there are institutions that have failed us. The fact that we have what she has mentioned about the school in Meru, where the young students are telling the counterparts, can we have a queue so that I can give you the snacks? That tells you, even in schools, voter bribery is an education that has failed all the way from education from the level of kids. In churches, now even churches, they are opening rooms for us because after you've said your name, the church is looking at you with those eyes of, tukona something for, you know? So it is something that must be worked on by churches, media yourselves. You're doing a good job at exposing them, but also now start educating the masses that, yes, you need your taxes. And the reason why you mentioned, Latif, that people are being told, well, kule hiyo ni taxes yako, is because, again, we have normalized bribery. And now it's becoming a norm. Even the media, now we're accepting it. So we need to go back to the drawing board. The media, schools, churches, all of us, leaders, so that in the next coming generations, they know, vote for the person who has the agenda. You know, let's vote along the lines of the manifesto. What has this person done? And if they're in positions right now, what have they done for the people? Yeah, that is my take on that for now.
Good evening. My name is Amolo Simba, an advocate of the High Court and a political commentator. So, on the issue of bribery of voters, first, this goes to the flaws of democracy. And I would start from a historical perspective. If you look at Socrates in Greece, when he was opposing democracy, one of the arguments against democracy was that it would enable, we would have a professor and a village idiot both having the same vote. And this argument was that if you there's a contest between a doctor and a sweet seller, the sweet seller will win because people will say that the sweet seller is giving us something sweet while the doctor is giving us injection which is painful. So that is the psychology that still sets up to date. The voters, like what is it that today we are talking about good policies. Like we have one presidential, some presidential candidate, for example, let's give Maraga. For example, you're working, you're saying rule of law and all this, and you're not giving people anything. And there's somebody who comes and is dishing out money. The people will, they get attracted to flamboyance. And bribery is not a new thing. We can go back even to the biblical times when you had Esau and Jacob. So when somebody is not empowered, at that time when Esau was very angry and needed some soup, and he sold his birthright for a bowl of soup, yes. So the lack of empowerment, it means that if today you are somebody who, you are living from hand to mouth and somebody offers you 1,000 shillings, you are less likely to be rational enough to think that, no, I'm not taking this 1,000 shillings because I want a road. Because if you don't have a meal today, you may not live long enough to see the road. So it's the issue of empowerment. And the problem also we have is the culture of citizens, where we have the culture that people need to give us money. Because if you change, like you saw in the election for New York mayor, where Zoran Mamdani won, and it was the people who were giving him money, and that's the culture in the US election, whereby people donating to even to the candidates. But we have a culture whereby we expect that Mheshimiwa ndiye anafaa kupeana. So we can't blame it solely on politicians. The problem is our culture. It will take a lot. It is more than you and I may talk from a point of privilege because I don't need 1,000 shillings, but for somebody living from hand to mouth may not have that luxury. So maybe it's work in progress.
You at some point you're saying, I mean, it's 2026.
Man.
Why are we here?
Actually, he has actually used a very good example. I'm like, Zohran Mamdani, man. I can't seem to fathom if maybe we are saying Kenyans have a culture of accepting this money. Maybe a conversation that I'm leading into is maybe poverty is being utilized as a political weapon too. Because I'm thinking if all of us have equal resources and opportunities, Latif, it is difficult when I have been educated. And I think the block here is us Moi Kibaki free education products. when you're empowered, when you're educated, you know your rights, you participate civically, it costs so much to convince me to just vote for you because of their money. So ideally, are Kenyans really, of course there is, but is the evidence higher on Kenyans just always accepting bribe and this being our culture, or is the poverty so profound and so widespread that it is easily utilized within the masses?
It's a whole debate about whether it's poverty that leads to this, whether it's a lack of awareness of, you know, the power of the citizen, or, you know, the power of the vote, which I completely do disagree with. I mean, Kenya's literacy levels are very high.
Very high.
Telling me that people don't know the power of the vote, I disabuse myself of that notion. But this guy here he can paint, and he won. Ulitoa ngapi, Bwana Paul Chirchir? Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you very much, Latif. My name is Paul Chirchir Tarimbo. I am an MCA in Kericho County, that's Kapsoit Ward. I am serving my second term. 2027, I'll be running for Senate Kericho County. I want to be on record first by saying voter bribery is an electoral offense. It is illegal and it's unlawful. So let's go on record that it is not allowed.
Have you ever broken the law?
I have never broken the law. So voter bribery, it takes two to tango. The briber and the bribee. The person bribing and the person taking the bribe. In Kericho, for example, the last election for the gubernatorial position, the current governor did not have any money, he did not bribe. He was running against many other candidates, but he won. That tells you that bribery sometimes does not pay. So if someone else has money and you don't have money, the person who doesn't have money gets to be elected. That means our people know what they want. So even if you bribe, it does not mean that you will be elected. Even if you call it bribe, what is happening in Olkalau? If it's bribe, it's not bribe. It does not have to go the way that money, these people wamepeana pesa sasa, watachaguliwa. No, that's not the position. So if we want to correct things in this country, as leaders, it has to begin with us. Like me in 2027, I don't even have the money to give out. But I have an agenda that I'm going to be selling to the people of Kericho County. I expect them to buy my agenda and not to look at whether I have money or not. So it has to begin somewhere. Even in this room, all of us, we need to commit and say, it has to begin somewhere. Let us say no to bribery. Let us say no to voter bribery. And it begins from that. We can all agree in this room, all of us who are here, that say, manene ya kuhongana tuachane nayo. Okay, there are people who like...
Will you balance it between, vote for the right person and completely reject any money from anyone? Or is it vote for the right person but still eat from any other?
That is why I said it has to begin somewhere. And as the institutions that are tasked with to enforce, for example, IEBC, there are laws that guides candidates, there are laws that guides voters. IEBC should just be very strict and say, if you are found guilty of bribery, action should be taken against you. But as we speak now, there is no action that has been taken against any candidate. So if Kenyans get to see IEBC taking action, then you will see that voter bribery will fade away. It has to begin somewhere.
Thank you, Paul. We'll come to this side and we'll hear from the two. The mic is here. If you don't have the mic, please don't shout.
No. Thank you, Latif. You know, basically, we the Gen Zs on the ground.
Please start by introducing yourself.
My name is Sheikh Muhammad Khan. I am vying MCA Parklands. I'm also on Timbabu, one of the coordinators for MCAs Nairobi. And I've been on the ground since June 18th, from the first day of the protests. Nimebeba wana serikali mara mbili. So basically, we are trying to change because, you know, highlighting the problem, everyone does it. But what are the solutions? Just 2 days ago, we were with my presidential aspirant, Boniface Mwangi. And we are trying to see how we can fund him to run his campaign. Because out there are 3 ways to win the election: narrative, tribalism, or cash. Those are the things. If you see the Linda Mwananchi Sifuna, he is not giving out cash. It is the narrative that is playing. And most of the people who go for cash are the poor slum areas. That's why unaona wakati ya campaign huwezi pata mtu ameenda Karen, anaingia pale Githogoro, ama anaingia pale inatoaje Makongeni, anaingia kwa slums, sababu anajua these guys are poor. He will not come and convince a guy of Karen because this guy is educated, and so that is the trend we are trying to change. Because when you go out there, the first thing is rekedo. Ukisema utire nekene we, utata kitu nani na utire kedo. Unaambia ni you can't come for a chair and hauna kitu. So this thing is two-way. Okay? Basically they expect that, but we have to change that narrative. We have to come out and say, let us try. I'd rather lose that seat and stand out than give a bribe. But how many of us want that? Because we know that when you go into the government, we start ning. Okay? Sasa nikishakupatia 200. You are not my father or my mother. When I go back to serikali, I start taking alafu nasema Sheikh ni corrupt. It's not corrupt, it's return on investment. Basically, that's what you're trying to tell me. Kama nimekupatia wewe sio dadangu, narudisha pesa zangu. Okay? Then, if you look at just these by-elections, at Kariobangi North, we had some 2 human rights activists. One was very famous for doing a lot of activism. Lakini alishindwa kwa sababu gani? DCP ilikuja. So people are playing with the narrative. Sometimes you have to look at these things, that elections is not just one thing. There are several things. And then our presidential aspirant, Boniface Mwangi, the other day he printed notes. Notes kapsena, I wish I had come with one, then my car. Niani noti 1000. Lakini imeandikwa corruption is ABCD. So nimepatia polisi akaangalia sema nini unanipatia? I'm trying to send the message because he thought it's in ngiri nimempatia. No, amechukua haraka sana, lakini akiangalia sema ai nini umenipatia? So it has a message. Na iko na picha ya Boniface Mwangi in the presidential thing. So it looks very, and it is in that color. So those are the things we are trying to change. The last but not least, the other day our friend Alan Ademba, we ran what we call Tuko Kadi. We did it, and some people were asking us, if you look at Alan Ademba, he's just a normal guy. But what did he have? Friends like us who came forward. We are going to Nakuru. Sheikh ulikuwa na gari sawa. Mwenzangu anasema mimi nitatoa fuel. Mwingine huko anasema sisi tutasimamia lunch. So those are resources we got together and we managed to register. In 40 days we did what Kalonzo Musyoka could not do in 40 years. 2.6 million voters we have registered. This is the vote bank that we as Gen Z have, and we are going to use it to negotiate. So that when people come and say, oh, let us look at Matiangi and let us look at Kalonzo, how many votes do they have? We have more votes than them. So we are going to use that. And we are changing the trend. Okay? We are changing the trend. Our sister Shakira Wafula has got nothing. But she is an icon. Imagine if she goes for women rep, Nairobi. What are the chances hata shinda? What are the chances? So let's get rid of these things kwamba sisi politicians lazima tutoe bribe. Mimi ni mtu ambaye nimefanya kazi CBD. For the past 3 years nimesukumana na Sakaja mpaka akatoa uchafu na akatengeneza barabara. The guys there wanasema sasa tunataka usimame hapa. Lakini kwa sababu ya what I've been doing on the ground nimeitwa Parklands. Sababu remember we are still tribalistic. Waindi wameniita wakaniambia Sheikh sisi we will fund you. So why do I have to bribe them? They are already telling me they will fund me. Why? Because they've seen what I've done on the ground. So it's time for us as politicians to change that trend. Stop blaming people. Alafu kiambia tina fungu la 10 na media, hata media you guys should change. Nikikuita press briefing niambia Sheikh uta facilitate lunch. But there's some media houses they call you. So they are both sides of the coin. Okay? And I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to say this once again. That when it comes to religious leaders, we have no religious leaders. We have no religious leaders. Every time they want to commemorate the Gen Z anniversary, they have a pay bill. I went last year and told, I'm not going to name them, and I told him we don't need the pay bill because Hanifa is saying I've got excess cash for those who have been injured. No, Sheikh, kuna watu ambao wameumia. Nani? So basically, their interest is fungu la 10. So we should not expect any from them. And I want to tell them that when the Israelites, sasa walifinywa, Mungu hakutuma mwanasiasa, alituma nani? Moses. Sasa zile Goliath alikuwa anawapiga, Mungu hakupatia Saulo nguvu, alituma nani? Daudu. So if our religious leaders reform, we have change. Otherwise, politicians cannot change this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheikh. Patia wakili Mahano hapa tumsikie.
Because I'm at least leader also.
And you have said you don't have.
Like wakili Mahano.
So I've taken up the mandate.
Jared.
I've taken up
Order.
So
it's on.
For me, you know, first of all, people need to understand the context of what a bribe is. And if you look at the definition of what,
sorry, Wakili, you did not introduce yourself.
Oh, you know, it's because you had done it on my behalf and you did it twice. But my name is Titus Mahanu. I'm a practicing advocate in this city and an aspirant of Dagoretti North MP in 2027. Inshallah. So, first of all, people need to understand the context of how do you define a bribe, and as initially defined by the good professor, that there is the person offering and the person receiving. So first of all, by the very nature of our laws, it does understand that for a bribe to happen, there must be two actors. But in addition to that, we also have the third actor in the context of voter bribery happens within a political setup. We have IBC and we've got other law enforcement agencies which are supposed to come in as soon as voter bribery is detected. They're supposed to come in and use the law and the institutional framework that they have to try and curb it. But what happens? You will find that if these investigations start and the matter finds itself in court, it will be subjected to a lot of, you know, technicalities and preliminary objections, and in the end you may find someone being acquitted. I take a good example of a case that involves a female member of parliament that was found to be involving herself in, voter bribery related activities. And I think IBC reprimanded her and I think penalized her, but she quickly ran to the High Court and the High Court was able to give her an injunction, stopping and halting that little effort that the institution of IBC is trying to put in place. So you can see, put together all these factors, put together, you'll understand that voter bribery does not just happen within, it's something that can't just be blamed on politicians. And as someone said that every society gets the leaders that it deserves. So when I have engaged myself in politics and I am hitting the ground through the Linda Mwananchi, and one thing I can tell the audience and everyone that is here is that even if you are intentional and deliberate, you do not want to give out a bribe, you will be forced. Otherwise, you will be ransacked. So you get into a certain area, you did not intend to give out money, but for your own safety, you will have to part with money. Otherwise, you'll even lose your clothes, you'll even lose your shirt because of this issue of gunsim. So it's a responsibility of everyone. But most importantly, we need to ask ourselves, why is it that, what is the common denominator? What is the most common commodity that enables this? Money, opportunities, source of income. If we can make these things available, opportunities, income, then we devalue the currency that enables corruption, which is money. So for as long as opportunities are not given to the young people and everybody in this country, which takes place in the context or in the habitat of political arena, it becomes very difficult to even imagine that this thing will end. So it's a responsibility of everyone, because politicians have got a role to play, citizens have got a role to play, the law enforcement agencies have got a role to play, IBC has got a role to play, and the government, and most importantly, has got a role to play by ensuring that people have opportunities so that money or income, money does not become a rare commodity. Once you make money a common commodity, it becomes impossible to bribe someone.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I continuously feel like we need to challenge the political class from this rhetoric of saying Kenyans are always the same. Kenyans have this culture, etc.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can shortchange the ways of politics in Kenya? Or rather, the question should be, how do we make money irrelevant in our campaigns? And since you're getting into the political race,
Yeah.
how do you think that could be achieved?
In this, that's a very good question. While studying for my master's on anti-corruption law and anti-money laundering, I did come to understand that in the US there is a system that has been put in place to assist in combating corruption and anti-money and money laundering, to the extent that it's called the civil forfeiture, where if you're suspected to have illegally acquired public money or wealth, they don't sue you as an individual. They sue that money, they sue that bank account, they sue that Bugatti that you've purchased using that ill-gotten wealth until you show cause. And most importantly, the criminal justice system there, or this civil forfeiture that is there, it makes it hard for you as a criminal from benefiting from that crime or the proceeds of crime. So essentially also, if we can devalue money in the political context, that is the only way we will be able to force political actors and people who are interested in running for political office to now center on issue-based politics.
Yeah.
We can, and the laws are there. For example, I'll be very happy if we can come up with a law that says there is no involvement of money at all in a political contest.
I think that should be
Let
the case
people not
actually.
campaign on top of cars. There should be no distribution of merchandise in a political context. Let people present themselves and just speak to the voters. I mean, we've got scenarios where, and in advanced countries where people vote through virtual systems. People don't need to queue. Campaigns are done virtually. So we should be looking at those kind of, ideas. And the day we will devalue money in the political context, that is when we will move our politics from money to issue-based. And slowly, we'll be able to kill this menace.
Slowly?
Yeah.
Now, we need to start winding up. We have, I think, 10 minutes. And
I had a point of correction.
Jared, in fact, you have ruled you out of order. Just to teach you how the parliament that you want to go to, I can kick you out of the floor. No, let's... Wakili, let's give the mic to someone who hasn't spoken, please. Let's, at Salvia time, let's give the gentleman at the end.
Okay, thank you, Zan Latif. I'm Franklin Dambe, human rights advocate, the incoming member of parliament, Game constituency. To me, this bribery, voter bribery, is not a solely responsibility of the political leaders. It is rather a shared problem. Why am I saying so? If you look at most of the communities, they have normalized the vote buying as a culture of politics. And so this is happening because the IEBC and the law enforcement bodies are weak. They are not strictly enforcing the electoral laws against the politicians who are supporting or promoting this culture. And I think going forward, because this thing is illegal, allow me to agree with my friend, Mheshimiwa, the MCA, it is illegal. And what can help us going forward, let the law enforcement bodies and the IEBC work on or enforce a new law that is against both the receivers and the givers. Because tell me, and let me tell you, this thing is affecting us because people are valuing us. They want to see what what will Dambi give us. So maybe if I give them 100, if that is the culture, that's an example, and the other person gives 1,000, they'll devalue me. They'll say, let's go for this other person. So they are not focusing on strategies I'm coming with. They're rather than focusing on handouts I'm yet to give them.
Thank you,
so
Franklin.
this will help us actually have leaders who of integrity and leaders who are up to building the nation.
Asante. Pass the mic to the gentleman at the back, and let's start with you, and then we'll go to the lady at the back. You have the mic.
I'm Benedict Otieno, aka Jacom 002. Nasimama kiti ya Embakasi East, Member of Parliament. Sasa mimi nimesikia vile tumeongea, lakini mimi swali yangu ni moja. Kila mtu hapa anakubaliana na mimi, voter bribery iko. Lakini Kenya hatutaki kuambia Mkenya, shida si politician, shida ni mwananchi. Sababu mwananchi wa Kenya, wakati unasema unataka kuvai, in fact anaona ako na right hata kuja kwako na kukula. Na tofautiana na sister yangu pale, wakati anasema proudly hati hii ni culture yetu. Culture yetu kivipi? Mimi navai kiti cha ubunge cha Embakasi East. Mshahara wa mbunge ni pesa ngapi? Ukiangalia pesa wanakuambia inafaa ukampeni nayo. Hii pesa itabidi basari ukule yote. Hakuna kitu utafanya nayo, because why should I spend over millions of shillings? Nikipiga pesa, niliona hata juzi IEBC ikisema ati mbunge anaekewa 14 million. 14 million for what? Hizi vitu ndo zinafanya dawa ikosekana hospitali. Sababu by the end of the day nimekuja kukampeni. Na ndugu yangu amejaribu kusema pale anatoka huko side za kwetu. Mimi natoka side ya Siaya. USA. Na niko na swali moja kwake. Sababu the moment anasema ati huyu akitoa pesa mingi. Kuna by election ilifanyika hapa Kasipul. Kuna rafiki yangu alikuwa anaitwa Manibior. Manibior alipea watu pesa. In fact, siku ya election watu 1,000 walilala kwake. Kura ikitangazwa kura ni 300. Sababu hawa watu wako hapa kwa kukula. Sasa mimi yenyewe, to be honest, hii kitu tunafaa to fight out. We need to find a ground to convince voter. Yeah. Tafadhali nikikupea nitarudisha. And you will suffer. So tuache kujifanya, let's call a spade a spade. The moment tunai normalize, yani tunai sugarcoat, let's call it out. Because by the end of the day, that is why Mimi as a person, I don't have a manifesto. I have 10-point agenda with people of Embakasi East. I'll sell to them. If they agree, wanipigie kura. Wakikata, kaende.
Thank you. Well said. Give the lady. Give the lady.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
One room, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, NTV, for having us this evening. My name is Verashias Nemayan, woman aspirant Narok County, and founder, Verashias Nemayan Foundation. I'll start by saying Kenyan leaders have mastered the art of conning, conniving, and sloganeering instead of delivering on development. And Kenyan elections have become a contest of financial muscles rather than leadership and ideas that these people bring to the table. You've seen in Bere North, we had the cost of the by-elections was around 700 million. In Olkalao, people are being given shoes. They said they brought trains, gas cookers, and I'm sure some of these voters don't even know the manifesto of those leaders that are giving these tokens. So my point is, as Kenyans, we have a responsibility to bring down this voter bribery. First, wananchi, to stop expecting tokens. Instead, they should expect delivery of services for development, because we're really lagging behind on development as Kenyans. And also, yes.
You're, I'm sure, because with your foundation and your campaign,
yes,
you've been on the ground.
Yes, I've been on the ground since last year.
Are people receptive to that idea of let's say no to voter bribery?
because it's a norm that has been there, they are used to.
So you're facing...
I'm facing challenges on the ground.
Trying
You
to sell
go,
that idea.
yeah, anytime you want to say hi to the people, check on them, they're like, Mahesh, wapi kachai, wapi lunch, you see? So, wananchi are also contributing to this voter bribery. We should bring it to a stop. The leaders should deliver on development, and wananchi stop expecting tokenism so that we can have a better country in future. Thank you.
Give the mic to your neighbor there. Let's hear from the gentleman.
Okay, thank you.
Tuko na dakika 5 tumeambiwa.
Okay, my name is Vincent Lubale, and I'm from Busia, MCA aspirant, Lugulu Ward. On this issue of voters bribery, I think I'll just advise on my fellow youths that it's good if we venture into politics, because wale viongozi ambao wamekuwa pale tuwaondoe, because those rules are there, zile laws ziko. If you are found ume bribe voters, kuna zile sheria nazifanyi kazi. So what I'll urge my fellow youths, just venture into politics, whether you have money or not. Enda kwa siasa, because I've had leaders who have been elected hata kama hawana pesa and they are serving. Tuingie kwa siasa hata kama tuko na pesa ama hatuna. Ukipigiwa kura uko huko, kindly let's make those laws na to make sure zile sheria ambazo ziko za kukaba voters bribery zinafanya kazi. I think hiyo tutusaidia.
Thank you, Vincent.
But tukipiga tu kelele tukiwa huku nje, that will not work.
Asante. But you're the lady, and then let's come to you. Ukatakate, sawa.
Okay.
Ngoja.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Wakili Davis Osemo, an aspirant for Chicago Borabu in Kisii County. On this issue of voter bribery, I want to start from where my brother Khan and Wakili have left, from the issue that our politicians know who to offend. And he gave an example that elections are held in Kileleshwa or Karen, but how many times do we see politicians who are vying in those seats in that area actually bribing those citizens? But we see this in people who have high poverty levels. There cannot be dignity of a person if there is perpetuity of poverty. As I proceed also, there's an issue of, we have to also recognize, being on the ground, that we have 3 types of citizens. We have idiots, fools, and citizens. What do I mean? An idiot is a person, irrespective of what you are going to sell to them. At the end of the day, they believe in tribalism, nepotism, and also corruption. A fool is somebody who's lost, but you can explain to them and you can course correct. Now, in this room, we have citizens, people who are very enlightened, because you've categorically stated it is, for God's sake, it is 2026. Me and you know the cost of accepting a 1,000 bribe and giving you my vote for the next 5 years, the impact it will have on me. So, to all persons here who are aspiring for public office, as much as we want to do politics the right way, I take great inspiration from Irungu. He's been an MCA, he's been a member of parliament, he's been a senator, and he's been a governor. And in all levels, he's made a difference and a change. But at the end of the day, be in that position. Okay. And then make the change that you want to see. Because also, the last problem that we have as citizens also, there are citizens who don't know the value of having good leadership. I'll give 2 examples. If you are a Mount Kenya politician and you don't deliver to the people, trust you me, regardless of the money you'll give them, they'll vote you out. You come to Nyanza, from where I come from, all it takes is somebody to say, so-and-so, Tosha. And you'll be elected. Whether you campaign, you don't campaign, you steal their money, as long as somebody held your hand and said Tosha, you'll be elected. So you have to also navigate the reality of the politics. Thank you.
So much. I am Victorine Cherotich-Koskei from Bomet County. And first of all, speaking about voters bribery, I wouldn't want to go back to the definition, but what I can say is there are factors that leads to this bribery. We've said that we are the enablers. but we haven't articulated why. Are we enabling this? One, a singer in our land, that is the late legend Kipchamba, once sang and said that we have 3 enemies as Africa: poverty, ignorance, and diseases. And we as Kenyans, we've only destroyed one, that is ignorance. People are so smart, but we still have poverty. We still have diseases. And you know, politics is a game. Every player wants to win. Of course, you cannot play a game that you are going to lose. You master the art. You learn the ground. These people have their watu wa mkono pale kwa ground. They ask them how these people are reasoning, wanataka nini. And for a fact, if you want this and I want to win this, I'll give you. So we are the enablers as the citizens, and we should agree that. And reason is it is because of high rates of poverty. The rate of we are desperate for these positions and for these things. Like for most of the people, we are depending from hand to mouth. So of course, what I get for that day, me push to the next day, I'll agree to that and I'll buy the idea. Of course, that is what I have. I'll give you because I want you. I want you to be dependent on me. I cannot empower you. But if we have to make our solutions, let's first agree that we are the problem. It is not only the political person or aspirants who are the problem. If we hold that responsibility, that is now when we can find the solutions on how we will end this thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cherotich. Asante sana. Now we've got to close now. Kuna wa mwisho. Now ukimalizia.
The last
Come on,
one.
politician.
Thank you so much, Latif. I'll start by saying, okay, my name is Evans Osapiri. I come from Bungoma County, Tongaren constituency, kwa Yesu wa Tongaren. First and foremost, I want to say that the voters have lost hope in these politicians because you find that these manifestos that keep coming up each and every day, they have been there since time immemorial. So voters have felt like wacha tukule yenye wako nayo hiyo tumalizane kabla waingie huko. So that is the kind of life the kind of leadership we are having. Secondly, Kenya has now lost leaders. We are now having politicians. Politicians, the name of con men and con women. They have mastered. This is the best place to invest. So instead of us speaking on leaders with credibility, integrity, we know of somebody who has killed a person, who has shot somebody during the day. But we go on the ballot to elect this person. So you expect me to call you as a leader when I know very well you are a crook. So the best way to handle this issue is, I think the government of Kenya should now start coming up with laws of reducing the salaries of these politicians, because most of them are hungry tigers. They just want these positions to go and enrich themselves, and they have mastered that. For you to make this voter love you or come to your rally, make him or her poor. You know, I come from Tongaren, a place whereby a politician will come, tell you that these roads, I'm going to build them in 100 days. If you elect these guys, they don't do that. The next time he comes, he tells you, nimepandisha bei, sasa tumetoka 200 tunaongelea 800. So it is about these are conmen who know themselves. They know each other. It's about I know you have a lot of money, but I know how to speak to the people. So wacha nipandishe bei ndio mimi nikushinde. But now Kenya has lost leaders. We are into conmen and con women in the name of leaders. So I think that we should come up with the rules that we must reduce the salaries of these people. When you reduce these salaries, these guys are not going to go for these political seats. So as a country, we must come up with the laws that are going to govern us. The young people of this country should also know that it's not all about electing these politicians, and it's not a must that we join politics. We can lead these people, we can lead this country through other avenues. It's not a must that we go into this politics. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Tufunge.
My neighbor didn't speak.
Jared, I ruled you out of order a long time ago. A long time ago.
Thank you so much. I'm speaking kindly. Thank you. My name is Alex Karoki, the youngest senator aspirant Laikipia County under the party DCP. I'm actually very much disappointed to hear a youth a Gen Z to be specific, saying that this is a culture that we should adopt. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to change the status quo. We are here to change things from how they were working before to a new thing. Let me tell you, I'm vying for senator. Do I have money? No, I don't. It is a fight of ideas and not what you have. And this what have been making us elect leaders who are clueless, stupid leaders per se, because these people come with money. You know, we have come at a state where we do not care what you have at mind, what is your vision, what you want to do to the people, but what we care, it's what you give. And when you get in that position, you are actually clueless. You don't know what to do. The only thing you know, it is how to steal money to help you again win the next election, because you know your weapon is money. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to change this. And as young people, let me tell you, we are changing this. The government and the Ebola party, to be specific, you will bring us money. You will bring money, but let me tell you, we are going to win. We are going to win even if we don't have money, because it will be a fight of what we want to do to the people and not a fight of what we are giving out. So, ladies and gentlemen, kindly just join me and let us sell. Thank you so much. Let us sell the vision to the people, because I know we have what it takes to leadership.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and all the best as you sell that to the people.
Yeah.
Tufunge.
Wow, Latif. Guys, we have to go. We have to go.
We have to wind up. Yeah. Asante. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show, but importantly for Kenyans watching us across the country and beyond, I think my last word today would be a very good message to Kenyans. It is 2026. This is not 1961. This is not 1921. This is no longer the times you wake up and tell Kenyans what to do with their vote. This is no longer the time you wake up and tell a generation of the many tarmacs you will build when we know very well you won't. It's 2026. A constant reminder that Kenya's democracy has changed over time. You're dealing with the youngest population voting ever. You're equally dealing with the highest literacy rates ever. You're equally dealing with an age of digitalization, and you're campaigning to a digitally native generation. My advice to our politicians: it is better to be smart than to be a fool. Sell what you want to do for Kenyans. You cannot afford us as Kenyans. Kenyans, on the other hand, you are not worth 1,000 shillings for no roads. You are not worth 1,000 shillings for violence. You are not worth 1,000 shillings for a complete betrayal and trust of your democracy. It is 2026 once again. Our children are watching these elections. Our children will possibly participate one way or another by thinking thoroughly of the Kenya they want in the future. I think it is our responsibility to do better, not only to have generations to come that can participate in equal democracy, but importantly, for the generation that is here in the present to participate, to lead, and to continuously remind you that Kenya deserves better. This is The Last Word. See you next Tuesday and every Tuesday here on NTV. It has been a pleasure, Kenyans.